Hi, my name's Trey Brimmer. I'm with Mitel. Today I'm going to go over the MiCollab client with you. So let's take a look. You're looking at my very messy desktop here. What I want to show you here is the MiCollab icon. Now, this is already assuming a couple of things as we go through this training. It's assuming that you've already downloaded from your welcome email, or maybe if your IT department pushed it out to you, your MiCollab client application that you've loaded, and now you've put your username and password in there, and it's opened up at least one time. So now you're ready to go on a daily basis to open it up. And what I'm going to do today is explore some of the features of the MiCollab client with you, make sure you kind of have an understanding of how MiCollab works. And I'm also going to go briefly over the audio web conferencing with you, which is part of the MiCollab. And I'm going to go over that by way of MiCollab plugin to your Outlook. So if you're not running Outlook, the last part of this is going to cover that, and you can disregard. But if you are, this is going to cover the access to setting up an audio web conference call through your calendar on Outlook. So it's very easy to do, and I'm going to give you a brief look at that. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and click on my little bow tie here, which says MiCollab, and this will open up the application. Generally, when it's shut down hard, meaning that you've exited completely out of the MiCollab icon by right-clicking on the icon in your tray and saying to quit MiCollab, that'll shut it down hard so it's not running in the background. To reopen that, when you reopen it, you'll notice that it goes through kind of a setup really quick like this, where it's saying MiCollab and loads. So if you're just X out of it, it's just basically the same as minimizing almost, just so you know. So if you need to do a hard reset of this application for some reason, and I'm going to have these little pop-ups up here, so I apologize. But if you need to do a hard reset at any point, then you will need to set it down. And it does its little thing and blinks for a second. So what you're seeing is it's loading. So everything's loading. And the reason why it takes a second to load, part of the reason is because it's giving you a lot of information and feedback about other people within your organization. So one of the big, strong things about MiCollab is presence. I'm going to be able to tell if you're in the office or out of the office, or if you're on the phone or off the phone, if you're available for a chat. And it's a powerful tool so you can maneuver through your day as quickly as possible without calling people who aren't there, texting people who may not answer. So it gives you a lot of information. It's broken down. Right now what we're looking at is the MiCollab homepage. It looks like there's a lot going on. But honestly, it's three little areas. This is kind of your folders area, and it takes you to the different folders. Right now we're at home, and you'll see the highlight in that is in the kind of a light blue. And then as we go down that list, you can see that it has contacts and chat and my team and call history and voicemail and ad hoc meeting and your settings. So those all reside when you're looking at the screen all the way over to the left. And you can click on any of those and it brings up a different display each time. When you're at the home page like this, it separates it out in three. So you have your folders, and then the middle of it is your inbox. And it's really just a tally of what's going on for the day with your phone or your MiCollab. So right now it's showing that I called myself. I did do that recently because I had to leave a voicemail message so you guys could see how that works. So that's saying, hey, you just did that. And then these are just people I've called. It starts at the top and it works its way down through the day. So it'll show things like chats that I've had, so I can quickly go to those chats. It'll show inbound calls, outbound calls, missed calls. So it just gives you information that has popped in, and I apologize for my little pop-ups. They just go on and on. So that's how that works. So this will be just, and you'll notice that if I click on somebody, I could quickly call them. I could go ahead and chat to them. I could go ahead and, I missed her, chat to her. I could go ahead and look at her contact information. And when you hover, which it's not doing a very good job for me, but when you hover over something, it tells you what it is. So there's not a lot of mystery either. So there's your contacts. Here's your chat. If I want to call you, I could call you. And then this is your ad hoc meeting. So I could go to somebody and grab them and add them into a quick conference call if I wanted to. And that's what ad hoc is on this. That ad hoc part is going to be conferencing internally. So if I had you, if I was with a customer on a call, I could grab you really quick and add you into the conference. So that's kind of just an ongoing tally of the day, kind of like a call history, but it includes chat and other things that go on. This area over here will be blank on yours initially, and you can add and delete people out of it. So what's really nice is if this is where you could put your contacts if you wanted to, outside contacts. You could put internal people that you work with quite a bit. You could go ahead and put in a website if you wanted to. So you can see up here I can add them in really quick. There's I could add a URL. I could add a phone number. That's like an outside phone number. So I could add your home number. I can label it whatever I want. You just click on it, it brings it up, and then I can go ahead and put in the name and the phone number, and I save it, and I have it added to my list here. I can also add in people, which is really a group of people. So if I was working with a group that I wanted to chat with, I could set that up really quick, and we could all be chatting together. I do that quite a bit when I'm on a conference call. We can exchange information here. I clicked on that, and I'm going to add the group in, and this is the group name. I'm just going to say test, and then test. I think there's already test, so I'll just say test 1, and then I can add participants into that chat. So there's this one I've added in before, Ron. I'm going to add in Chris. He's the one I work with, Chris Wallen. I can add him in. So I could go a couple people in there, and I hit done. Now I got a little thing going. I can create it, and now I have a little creation. It pops up, and now you can see my test 1 is there. And if I wanted to, I can start a chat with that person, or I could go ahead and do a ad hoc meeting, which means I can do a conference call by phone and do a presentation very quickly, and I can just look at the contact information if I wanted to for all those people. So it's available now for me to throw together a quick meeting. The last one here, I've already have one of these kind of created, but this is to add a stream. This is like project management setup. So if I wanted to, I could add in a stream. I have a couple already set up so we can look at it. But what I could do is I could say sales team or whatever. Or I could actually put a project name, say it's. So say I have a project I wanted to create, right? Maybe. Oh, what is this searching? Oh, it's looking for me to add it in there. Sorry. I hit done. It's going to add that in as a test. So this is just to add it. It's not to create it. I apologize. So this is where you can create what you want to see, kind of customize your board. If you're working with 3 or 4 or 5 people, you can have them up on your display. You can see that these little dots are in different colors, what they mean to you. This is a pretty good example of most of what's out there, actually. So let's take a look. So you can see there's a solid red dot. That means that this person is available for chat, but they are currently on the phone. Red means that they're busy throughout the system, you'll notice. The green with the check mark, circle with the check mark like Paul Flood has up there, that means he's available for a phone call or chat. Chat is just a feature. I could go up here at any point and hit the little cloud. It's going to start a chat with Paul. I could quickly ask him a question. So those are 2 icons you're going to see quite a bit. Another one is you're going to see this little yellow one with a little clock hands on it. That's just telling you that this person is available for chat or a call, but they haven't touched their computer for 15 minutes, so they may be away from their computer. So if I send Ralph there a chat, it'll show up and introduce it to him, but he may not be there to receive it. So just a warning, if you haven't touched your keyboard, it pops up. So that's what that is. There are a few other icons. You can see this green one that doesn't have a circle, it doesn't have a check mark. It means Carson there is available for a phone call, but not available for chat. So if it's just the handset, it means you can call them, but don't try to chat to them because they're not available. It won't even let you chat to him because he's not available. But if it's a green circle, it means both chat or phone are on the table. You can use either of those. So that's some of the icons. There's a couple more. There's a do not disturb icon, which is a red icon with a little white line through it. Once I see that as we go along, I'll point it out to you. But right now, that gives you a pretty good idea of how that works. So I can see presence if they're on or off phone. I can know if I can chat to them or not. So it gives me a lot of information. And as we go through the different screens, you're going to notice pretty quickly that regardless of where you are, I could be listening to your email, but I could call you back right away. I could be looking at the call history, but I can just scroll over and call you right back. So I don't have to come to the screen to call any of these people. I may just notice that they called me on my voicemail, and I can go ahead and then call them back. So it makes it real nice. So that's your home screen, and you can adjust it. And just these little dots will take you to adjust or edit the process. If I hit edit, I can get rid of some of these. I created this test one. I don't want that. I put this person in earlier. I don't want that. So you can see I can get rid of people that I don't want very easily. Okay? So there's that, and I'm done. So let's take a look at the folders now. That'll take us to different screens. So here's your next one down is contacts. It takes you to multiple contacts. You have group contacts. These are ones that you've set up in a group. I have no members in a lot of them, but this is me to contact my different groups. I can see the people who are in those groups. So that's my Chicago group. I can go ahead and call those people really quick if I wanted to. Here's my personal. This pulls it out of my my Outlook contacts list. So I have people in here I can call really quick if I wanted to, including all my personal stuff, Bank of America, that's who I bank with, people I know, family members, that kind of thing. And then I have my corporate contacts, which is going to be all the phones in the system. Now we're in multiple states and multiple countries, and we have multiple offices. So there's a lot of contacts, you know. So that's where putting together groups comes in really nice, really handy. I could put groups together for different offices if I wanted to. I could put a group together for a team I'm working with, or just a group of people I call a lot. So you could build a group for almost anything if you wanted to. I could go ahead and build a new group at any point. I can edit it. I can add people in if I wanted to, you know. Very easy to set up and get a group going. So if I wanted to, I can add a new group, and then I could put in the group name, you know, say it's sales or whatever it is. Once I have the sales group in, I add the participants by hitting the plus and adding them in. So it makes it very easy to add these groups in and be able to find people very quickly. That's the idea, right? So in this corporate contacts, when I go back there, you can see you can kind of go down to the letter if you're looking for someone specific. You can also drag it down. I wanted to see if I could find that Do Not Disturb for you. I think I saw someone in Do Not Disturb a little earlier, and you can see there it is. So here's someone who's in the Do Not Disturb. You can see it's a red with a line in it, and that's just telling you, you know, they're in Do Not Disturb, so everything goes straight to voicemail. When it's just the phone, again, you can't chat to them, but the phones you've been seeing are in green. When you see a red circle, it means you could chat to them, but they're on the phone. But if it's a red little handset, it just means you could call them, but they can't chat. So that's kind of most of the icons you're going to see. There is a list of them. You can look under Help if you want to see all the little icons that are available. But that gives you the majority of what you're going to ever see. Okay, so that's your contacts. Next down is chat. This is chat history. So not only can you chat back and forth with each other, but it keeps a history of it. So if you're exchanging information, you know, you can go back to your chat and look and see what the information is. You can see the people I've chatted with. I could quickly go to and call really quick or chat to them, or I could go ahead and look at their contact information. The reason to look at people's contact information is when you're clicking on them, it's going to call their phone, their desk phone. So maybe this is somebody who I want to go ahead and maybe I want to call their cell phone and they have it listed under their contact information. I could quickly go to their other contact information and see if their email or their cell phone's available or whatever. So that's what that is. Here's my team. So we set up one of those two as a shortcut, but this is where you actually can set it up and look at it. What my team is, it's the ability to kind of collaborate between multiple people that are in a team. And what you can do on this is you can assign a team or a project, and then you can not only exchange information back and forth about that project, but you'll be able to assign tasks to people, and they would check off when they've completed the task. You can also hold documents with it. So if I was working on a project, say I'm working on a project I would go up here first and create one, okay? Let's just say the project I want is ABC Company. Okay, ABC Company is a big client of ours, so I want to make sure that I get a setup for it. You can add an image if you want. If you wanted to put an image of their company logo or something on there, that's kind of cool. And you can set up a category if you want a new category. There are not a lot on here, but I could put a category. It's for a sales project or, you know, it doesn't matter. That's just to give it some information out there so everyone has it. So when I set up one of these guys, where to go? Did I get rid of it? Let's try it one more time. I create ABC. We won't worry about that. Sales is set up, so I got that. I can add an image if I want, and then I can add the people who are going to be part of my team. So I can go here and just type in their names. So Chris Wallen is someone I work with. Chris Wallen. So I add him in. He's going to be part of our team. Ron Back I work with. Here's a Ralph. And there's Ralph Edwards. I work with him quite a bit. So I get all my team members involved, okay? Now what I can do is I can create this. And once I've created it, now it gives me all the abilities I need. I could go ahead and we can begin conversations like a chat. But not only that, I can add documents in. So I can drop files in here and share it with the team. This especially works well if you're not in the same office. I personally work out of a home office, and so do the other people that I work with quite a bit. So this is a really good way. We're not handing each other documents back and forth. We could email these, but this keeps it all together. So I can drop a document for this ABC company that I'm working with. I can go ahead and assign or manage tasks. So I can add a to-do item. Chris, can you make sure that you contact the customer because we're going to get a kickoff call going? I could go ahead and type that in. He would be able to then check it off. With the customer. Okay. I add that in as a to-do. And it's in there, and then when someone completes it, they can flag it, I can mark the importance, and when I'm completed, I can check it, and it marks it as complete. So we can add a bunch of tasks in there, and I can come show you when they're done or not done. I can also go over here and, see the whole team information together, who's participating. I can now add participants if I wanted to into the group. So it's a way you can kind of track a project, and makes it nice. I can keep, kickoff is now complete. You can see the activity is added. I'm just telling Chris here, he's like, what? So it's real life here. As soon as you create these, it's inviting people and letting people know what's going on. Okay. So that's how this works, and it's a nice way to add information in, documents in, and keep it all together in one little space so you can see the value there. Here's your call. The next one down is your call history. Call history is going to give you detailed call history on everything, everything that came in or out today, or I can separate it out. I apologize, I'll dismiss this. I can also separate it out by missed calls or inbound calls or outbound calls. The newest is at the top, and you can see that it gives me presence. If Ralph has called me or I called him, I could go over here very quickly and call him back or chat with him if he was available, that sort of thing. So it gives me information like that. So it's just call history, extensive call history, much better than the phone itself will give you. So that's cool. The next one is your voicemail. So once your voicemail has been set up initially on your phone, then you can go in here and just listen to it on your computer if you want. I left myself a message, but what you normally see is all your voicemails here. Here's me. I'm in the office, but it's not allowing me to call myself, obviously. But you can see very clearly that there's a message left, and it's very easy to delete or call it back or play it. So I can play it here or pause it, and it's just a player. So it just makes it really nice and easy to call or keep it. Once it's listened to, I can delete it or I can just leave it and come back and listen to it again later. So those will line up, the newest up top, moving down just like all the other lists on this. Next, you have your ad hoc meeting. So you can do audio and you can also share your screen. It's just internal for this. I could add people in very quickly by hitting the little plus sign, and then there we go, there's Ron again. And I can say done. And then I can say start meeting, and start meeting will reach out to Ron on his phone, and then it will also allow us, it'll send him an email with the information so he can join. It asks permission. There's his response when we're setting up, so I'm going to ignore that. So a quick way to set up a meeting, real fast, real easy, and real reliable for internal collaboration. You'll notice when we're looking at somebody real quick, you can see you could just set that up also by just hitting the ad hoc meeting. I could join a call with him very quickly. This is a little more, you can do a little more here though, but that's how that works. Here's your settings, a couple settings of interest you may want to look at. General settings are just, are you going to use your teleworker phone? Is this a used for teleworker? If it's on, it'll be on there. If it's off, whatever, it doesn't matter. I'm a teleworker, so mine's on. So a lot of this you're not going to have to do. Self-deployment would have to do if you have the MiCollab mobile. It'll give you an icon that you can scan with your phone. So you don't really have to mess too much with these settings too much. Your number, if you wanted to review your phone number, it's just your basic settings to let you know what all the numbers are on the system. The one we'll probably look at mostly is the voicemail settings, same thing. Where do you want to play back at? Default device. You can also choose a device if you wanted to. If you wanted to add in, like if I'm on my computer and I don't have speakers, I can have it ring to my phone, my desk phone. Okay. Here's where you manage your statuses. So we didn't talk about that really yet, but you could see up here in the corner my name, and it says I'm in the office in an appointment until 6 o'clock or whatever, and it has that I'm on a cut all day, right? So this is a status that I put out there for the internal people in my company to see, to understand what's going on with my computer, what's going on with me today. I'm in the office, but I'm in an appointment till 6, okay? So when I'm in the status, if I wanted to quickly change my status, I could click on my picture, and I could quickly choose a new status that will not only change what people see about me, but it'll also change how my phone functions. So not only am I going to change that I'm in a meeting or I'm gone for the day, but that will change the whole way my phone looks and reacts depending on what I choose to happen for each of those settings. And what I mean by that is, if you go down to the bottom here, it says manage the settings. I can choose and create new settings. What I want to do is not disrupt what I have, but I could quickly, the idea is I could quickly change my status. I'm in the office currently. Now I'm going to be at a customer site, okay? And when I choose to be at a customer site, it immediately puts me in, maybe, at a customer site. Okay. Well, we'll see if it changes. But this will change my status here on the road again. Let's see if that works better. It could be the way I'm kind of set up right now. So we'll see if it may be lagging a little bit, but you get the idea. The idea is that I can change the status. I can also manage them from here if I wanted to. So if I click here, I can go ahead and go down to the bottom of the list and manage the statuses from here. And it'll bring up my list of statuses. It brings me basically to the same page I'm at. So when I'm at my settings and I go to my manage statuses, it brings me to my list of statuses that I've created. So I was in California. So when I'm in California, what do I want to happen? When someone calls me, I send all my calls to voicemail, basically, when I was out of town, I was flying. So when I use that status the one time, I made it so I'm in Do Not Disturb. I have all my voicemails go to, all my calls go straight to voicemail. And I show the status that I'm in California. So it's maybe not the best example, but you get the idea. The idea is that you can change what's going on. So with each of these messages, you want to decide how you want your calls to flow. When I'm in the office, I want my phones to ring. Here's a good one. I'm in the office. I want my phone to ring with, ring 4 times and then go to voicemail. So I say, yeah, I'm using my phone. I want it to ring to both my phone and my mobile phone. So that way, if I'm stepped away from my desk, I can grab my phone. And I wanted to show that I'm available for accepting of instant messages or more messages or chat, we call it. I can accept video calls. Why not? Someone can call me by video. And I'm not going to enable Do Not Disturb for video calls. So Do Not Disturb would mean and they can't get you. Basically, you get a rejection when you try to video call somebody. So I'm going to allow video calls. If I don't answer, MiCollab client is going to do the default, but I could have it go to voicemail if I wanted to. So if I don't answer, I'll have it go to voicemail. When I'm there, I try to get the call. So I can set it up. So basically, you want to say what happens when I'm in the office. By default, it's already going to be set up to make you available. There's going to be a couple canned messages, like in the office, in a meeting, that kind of thing. But you can adjust those to make what makes sense in your world, and you can create new ones. So these are all ones that have been set up. Let's just say you're at a customer site. Well, at a customer site, I want all my calls to go to my mobile phone, okay? And then I have it ring my desk and mobile, but I really don't need to because I'm at a customer site, so I'm going to just have it ring my mobile phone, right? And then I'm not going to be available for messages. So I'll uncheck that. And basically now everything will ring my cell phone when I'm at a customer site. Or if I'm at a customer site and in your world you can't be disturbed with that, I can go to, hey, anytime someone calls my desk phone, I want it to go straight to voicemail. Send my calls to voicemail. Because I'm at a customer site, I can't be disturbed right now. I'm not going to take chat calls. When I'm on the phone, I just have it do the default usually, but I can have it go to my mobile phone when I'm on the phone so I don't miss a call. That's if I'm in the office. If I do not answer, I can have it do the default. Default's usually what you do. I just have it. Default means it'll ring your phone, go to voicemail, or if you're going straight to voicemail, it'll just go there. So that's the default on that. So it's just asking you questions about how you want the calls to proceed. So you can adjust them as you see fit. Okay, so managing calls pretty easy. Again, if you hit the little arrows, I can create a new one. I could say maybe in your world you go to building B, and you could say on here building B. So when you change your status to building B, everyone who's looking at you says, oh, in building B right now. And you can have when you're gone to building B, it goes straight to your cell phone, or maybe you have it go straight to voicemail because you can't be disturbed when you're in building B. So you'll have to make some decisions, but you can create new ones and kind of play with it. There'll be some by default already there. Okay. The other settings on here is calendar integration. I'm integrated, but I don't have the on busy and forward busy and that sort of thing set up. What this is an integration with your Outlook calendar. So if you have Outlook, it works real well. And what it does for me is it shows everybody my calendar of upcoming events. When they look at me on their MiCollab, they'll see that up here you can see it. I'm in the office, but I have an appointment until 6 o'clock tonight. So you'll know really quickly that I have an appointment, so maybe you know not to call me. It helps people understand what's going on with you. If you turn this off, then you won't see that portion of it. If you integrate your calendar, though, what you can do is when you're in an Outlook calendar and you set up an event, you can change how your phone rings depending on what you flag inside your calendar. So in your calendar, there's options that say like things like busy and forward busy and out of the office. And you can determine what it acts like, as one of your do not disturb things. So when you're busy, you can say you're in a meeting, and your calendar will automatically change your phone to react. So when the time comes for this meeting, my phone automatically will shut off and go to that I am in a meeting, maybe a customer site. Or I think there is one that just says in a meeting. Yeah, in a meeting. So I can just say in a meeting. So every time in my calendar I say I'm busy, it'll react and change my status to make me in a meeting status on my phone. So hopefully that makes sense. But basically it integrates. It looks to your calendar to determine the status you're in on your MiCollab or on your phone. How do I want my phone to ring when I'm in a meeting? I want it to go to voicemail, or I want it to go to my cell phone. So that's how that works. Schedules are going to be set schedules if you want to set them up. I've set up a couple here, but let's just say you have a situation where you are off Wednesdays and you don't want to have to go and change your status. You just want something to automatically send all your calls to voicemail on Wednesdays because Wednesday's your day off. So what you do is you say new, And then you say, hey, what status do you want it to go to when it hits this time? And you can say, you are going to be gone for the day on Wednesdays. Wednesday's your day. You can do a time-based one if you wanted to, or you can do a date-based. So you can see that all these are checked. So what you want to do is just check the ones that you want to happen. So now I'm making it Wednesday. Okay. So Wednesday, I'm good to go. On Wednesday, that's my day. And I can set my times up, I guess. I can do starting at, let's see. Let's start at, a little slow there, but you get the idea. There we go. Let's start at 5. You can start whenever you want, 5 a.m. You get the idea. Save it. We'll just say 5:50 a.m. So 5:50 a.m. we want to kick in. There we go. You're good to go. 5:50 a.m. It's going to start off. We just turn it on if we want it on. And away it goes. So you'll be off that day, starting at 5 a.m. Okay? The other idea is you could go to lunch or that sort of thing through a scheduler. But don't use it very much, but that's what that is. About will give you the current version of software that you're running. It also will take you some documentation if you'd like. You can look at the full manual on this, and if you're, forget a little bit of what's gone on or it's a little too complex to start off with, you can go in and kind of look at the documentation to help you work through it. But you can go there very easily. So that's kind of the layout on the MiCollab. I'm going back home now. And then again, up here is where you can change your statuses very quickly. I can pick who I want and change my status. Okay, so that's the MiCollab client part of it. The other part that you kind of get is the ability to conference. Now, I showed you the ad hoc meeting for team members, but I really didn't show you, how are you going to set up a meeting, a conference call with some clients, So what I would do on that case is I would go to my Outlook. So here's my Outlook. And when I go to my Outlook, you can see up top when you load the add-on, when you load in the application, it'll allow you to add this into your Outlook as a that you can grab. You can create a meeting here. So I can just click on here and I can create a new meeting, or I can go to one of the meetings I've already created. So there's some I created if I wanted to go to them and start it up. I can also go to my settings if I wanted to here. But what I want to do is create a new meeting. And when you click on that, it brings you to an email, email that I can now send out, and it has all the information that you would want in this email. So I can go ahead and just type in the people I want to add in there. There's Chris, and you can see I can also call him from here. So once I have Chris on here, it'll show me his status. And so it keeps, not only does it integrate where I can set up a conference, but I could actually call Chris really quick from here if I wanted to, or chat with him really quick. Hey, is this meeting date okay? And he would be able to communicate back and forth with me. So it puts all the information about the audio and web portion to join in if you want to send it by email, okay? You can also do it from your calendar. Let's get rid of this here, okay? We'll abandon this. Okay. So let's go to my calendar, okay? Here's my calendar down here. And you can see I can also add a meeting in here. So if I want to do this, I can add a new meeting, and it would set up as a calendar event. Well, maybe it'll set up as a appointment. Yeah, so it adds it to the person's calendar. So this way I can go ahead and type in the people I want to send it out to, and I could set the time for the meeting. This meeting will only be good during that time. So if this is an ongoing meeting, say it's going to last 6 months or something, you want to adjust the date out. So you might say, reoccurring or whatever. You might want to put the date all the way out so you can have it go on and on. But if it's for the one time, you just go ahead and put in the time it starts, the time it ends, and away it goes. It goes out to do the meeting. So it makes it really nice to set up a quick calendar event or a email to everybody to let them know what time the conference is. And it'll show up to the user and make it really nice. You're invited to a conference. And you can also type in other information. Hey, everybody, here's the conference we're talking about, blah, 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 blah. So you get the idea. So that kind of gives you a basic kind of overview of the MiCollab client and a little taste of that audio web conferencing. I'll bring this back up, and hopefully that will help you get started. Play with it, can't break it. The only thing I would recommend is kind of understand the calendar integration before you get too deep into that, because if you change your calendar and say you're busy on one of your calendar events, it'll automatically shut your phone off. So it's good to know that, that's, on or off before you start doing that. If you're used to using your calendar and saying things like busy or out of the office, it'll, go to whatever you set up for it to do. So hopefully that helps you out. I appreciate it. Have a great day. Thanks.